California.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Majestix Heroclix Podcast. If you like our content, please like and subscribe, it really helps us out. If you're interested in learning more about the Bronze Age format and the Majestix Open Series, please check out openseries.majestixccg.com. Also, if you want to learn about Heroclix strategies, tactics, and lists from the game's top players, please visit majestixccg.com/apex-insiders. Lastly, if you're looking for Heroclix singles, please visit our eBay stores at stores.ebay.com/MajestixHeroclix and stores.ebay.com/ClicksCollective. All the links for everything I just talked about is below in the description. And again, my name is Jeff, and today we're joined with Clay Woods of HCunits and Patrick Booth of Team Las Vegas. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey, hello, guys. Everyone.
All right, so today we have a special episode mainly dedicated to HCunits, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Bronze. So, Clay, go ahead and give us the lowdown, give us everything you want to share about HCunits.
Yeah, so funny thing we just learned a little while ago is that Patrick has not actually used HCunits, and so we're going to teach Patrick how to use HCunits, and I get to learn whether or not my site actually sucks or not.
This is actually good. This is really good information gathering for you because,
it's great.
It's been out for a while, and you don't actually get to see people as first-time users, so it'll kind of give you an idea of the intuitiveness of it.
Yeah, no, I'm very curious. So let's see, how are we going to do this? Pat,
I'm already logged in, so I made an account already.
All right.
I made an account a long time ago with Roland, one of our Las Vegas, we'll call them oldies out here, when we were doing Nevada states, and he put everything in for me. So I have an account, and there's two teams on this that he put in for me. So I have no idea how he did it.
So Roland Wellington, the Heroclix online world champion.
Yes, that.
Okay,
that.
Just wanted to clear things up so everyone knows.
I mean, he's not that big of a name and stuff. What are you talking about? He's just a guy that I hang out in a bar with.
When they talk about old balls, I think he would fill that notch.
I would agree. Roland is very.
All right, so how about you share your screen and kind of start building a team for us?
Sure. So let me share my screen.
So the first thing I'll note is, if you want to use HCunits just like HC Realms, you could totally do that. You can go to Explore in the top and just do Explore Units.
Okay, so I'm on the home page. This is the home page, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So let's start at the very top. Yep, Explore.
Okay.
Units.
Sounds
good. Now this is going to behave very similar to what you see if you're familiar with HC Realms. With a few caveats, like things are in different places. So if you click on a Notorious as an example, you'll see all the units and it'll pop it up. Now I guess the one thing there is that you'll see a little bit of interesting set information. So the chart on the upper right part of the screen is actually a breakdown of all the powers possessed by units on their first click. So you can get a sense for is this a very charge heavy set? Is this a running shot heavy set? And in the case of Notorious, it's very charge heavy. See that, the green line there on the left.
So feedback right away I got. I could make the leap that those are powers, but I don't know which is associated with which area.
You are right. Yeah. So mouse over it, and it will tell you what it is.
Oh, okay, cool. So if I was like, "What's this green bar?" That's charge. Yes. That makes sense. Cool.
Yep. So there you go, and they're all color coded. But
so this set has the least amount of telekinesis.
Yeah, very little TK.
And stop.
Yeah, stop is I count that as a power. And you notice that I think we're actually missing Earthbound neutralize. That's the little gap there.
Oh, that's terrible.
Nobody wants that anyway. So
How does a set not have Earthbound neutralize?
well, on
It's
their
just a
starting
crime.
click. On their starting click.
Ah, okay.
Now, if
That
you
would
click
make
the
sense.
little icon next to that,
This?
yep. Then it'll show you how the combat symbols are broken down. So you can see most people in the set have, or characters in the set have boot, fist is the only attack symbol. Shield, shield, it must be an error because nobody should have shield.
Indomitable.
Makes sense.
So, and then there's like everybody's starburst, and there's like one tiny and maybe two giants or something like that. So, yeah.
Shouldn't there be a colossal because of the legacy card?
I think it's barely there. It's like this tiny little sliver. Yeah.
Yep, there's the one.
Yep. So, and then if you flip that button again, this is where. So this shows you the distribution of the combat values themselves, the numbers.
Okay.
So you can see like the average defense is 17.6.
Okay.
Where this gets interesting is the range and speed, especially over the past few sets where, with the shorter maps,
it's
these
tapering
values
off.
have been dropping.
Yeah.
And so, for everybody out there who always complains about power creep, now you actually have some hard data to back up your allegations of power creep. So, because if you compare this to, say, a set from 10 years ago, you can see how how things have shifted.
That would make sense.
So yeah, that's. Oh, and then sorry. If you scroll down a little bit further, there's a graph there, and what that shows is the popularity of the unit over time for different months. Now, this is a pretty brand new unit, so he's not very interesting. But if you go to the search bar and search for something like,
ooh, I got a good one.
Pick a good one.
How about Sky Tyrant?
There you go.
Ooh.
I think that's 2 words.
Yep.
If you do Sky Tie, it's good enough. His search engine is solid.
Okay. So then it looks like if I look at Sky Tyrant, the greatest number of people I'm searching for was actually in July of this month. Maybe June, but
and it's not search, it's actually how many people are adding it to their teams.
Oh, so even better. So people that are like, I want to use this figure.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it seems like he was more heavily used in teams in July here because it's slightly higher than June.
That's right.
But he tapered off now in October since he's no longer modern age.
Yeah, and I think people discovered Spider-Man, and they realized, you know what, this whole Dark Phoenix moving Sky Tyrant across the map thing just isn't as good as Spider-Man. So we're going to go back to Spider-Man. So that's kind of the interesting stuff that you can see in the Explore page. There's a little that's the information that's not also available to you in the team building. So let's go and start building a team, and we can get into some of the more interesting things there.
So new team.
Sure.
I know right away, as I told you guys beforehand, but I'll tell our listeners, I managed to get the Ultra Chase Zod, Ursa, and Non, so I really want to put together a brute team to see if I can actually do something with this thing.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, so give it a name.
Let's call it
Brute Force.
Sure, Brute Force. Sounds great.
Keep it simple.
So you can add a brief description, but what I recommend you, and that's not that important to be honest, but go for it.
There you go.
So pick your format. Are you building bronze since we're West Coast? Or are you building modern? You want to do all?
I think I'd rather do modern and make it the hardest to be able to do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so set it to modern.
What's the difference between modern age 2023 and then regular modern age that we have here? What's the difference?
Yeah, great question. So we just went through a retirement.
Mm-hmm.
So what was modern a month ago is no longer modern. And instead of like calling all of those teams like totally broken, I decided to just add a new age.
Okay.
So now one of the interesting things about this drop down is that when you start looking for things, and particularly in the search feature, it's going to filter out by format. So if
I do
modern, you're not
age,
able to find any golden age stuff. It's all gone.
Now, if I click just modern age, that's going to be the new modern age as of the end after Worlds, correct?
That's right.
Yes,
yeah.
So let's make the hardest team we got with the least amount of stuff. There we go. Okay.
You can see that the little list of items on the left just shrunk drastically.
Just shrank up.
Yes. Got a little cold.
So, and we decide we don't have, there's not enough interesting brutes in modern. We can always change that later and expand it to, bronze or silver, whatever we want to do.
Now, here's a good question for you. So if I started as modern age and I go, man, this is really failing, but you know what? I have a bronze age event coming up this weekend. Can I, A, shift this to a different age and it won't delete my stuff that's already in there? Okay. And then
yes, it will. That's right. So it'll automatically update everything. And if you switch from one age to the next and a unit is no longer legal in that format, it'll actually tell you once you start adding things.
So it won't automatically boot it out, but it'll just put a warning there.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, now B, do you have the ability to duplicate a team so that I can make subtle changes to it for the different errors?
Why, yes, I do, Patrick. If you click the little ... button there.
Okay.
More options.
Copy. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
And ignore rules. I think that's a dangerous.
It's let's come back to that because it's actually pretty interesting. We talked about how we're gonna enforce the rules. We're not gonna, for the most part, we're not gonna let you build an illegal team. So can't have multiple primes, can't have more than 300 points on your team, can't have multiple unique figures, etc. But if you sit there and you're banging your head on it and you're like, why won't it let me add another figure? You can always go and switch it to ignore the rules, add that figure, and then see what it tells you is wrong about your team.
So, for example, there's a format that we have out in Vegas where we call it 2 primes because we had a player out here once that played 2 primes by accident at an event. So now we caused it as an event.
I did that in a real event.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Off on it.
If you want to build a team that doesn't follow the rules, then you can just turn off the rules and it'll show up in the team, but it's still
that's a really good feature though, because I know for a fact that Heroclix has a lot of casual players that can use your website for whatever wacky rules that they want to use.
That's right. There you go.
Okay, so let's build this brute team. All right,
let's start it off.
All right, what am I doing here first?
So you can go search for the unit in the top. Now you mentioned let's start. You wanted to start with a unit. You got a particular unit in mind. Who you're starting with?
That was Zod, Ursa, and Non.
All right, so just pick. Type in one of those. It doesn't. So whatever you put in this text box here, it doesn't. You can pick a bunch of different words. It does a pretty good job of finding the right unit for you.
I picked Non because I don't think we've ever had a Non figure. But I'm sure one of our listeners will tell me that it did exist in probably the movie set.
So now it's going to show you the card.
Okay.
And if you want to add it to your team, just click the big red plus button.
Right.
Actually, from Superman, it was uncommon.
See, look at that.
Yeah. But he's not showing up because he's filtered out, right?
That makes sense.
There you go.
Now,
and the other
here's a question. With this figure specifically, right? He starts on my sideline, but it's asking me to put it into his main force.
Yeah.
What's the difference here with him?
Yeah. Scroll down. Sorry. Okay. No, that's not relevant. The beginning of the game, place him.
So it doesn't actually.
You don't put him
on your sideline. It does start on your force, and at the beginning of the game, then you place the figure on their card.
So
Yeah.
he's just off to the side of the map. So that's
you have
different.
to have a square. You have to choose a square to start him in.
Okay.
Start them in, and then at the beginning of the game, when all beginning of the game effects happen, like the swapping from dooms or whatever, stuff like that, then he goes to the sideline, and you put the counters on there.
Love it. So it's kind of like their crystal glass windows floating in space.
Yeah.
Got it. So he belongs on main force. Just wanted to make sure there.
Yep. Now, if you wanted, you could put him on the sideline because the current rules say anything you want can go on the sideline.
That's fair.
Okay.
Right.
It's not good, but you can do it.
Yeah. So now if you click on that plus button again, you will notice it's no longer an option because he's unique. So you can't add him a second time.
Unless I wanted to ignore the rules.
Unless you wanted to ignore the rules. Now, the one option it does give you is to add it to the scratch space. And this is like a special area where it's like, I have some ideas. I don't really quite know how I want to put this in my team, but I want to remember this, like, and then leave it open as an option. So you kind of throw it in your scratch space just as a way of remembering. Maybe it's a good option for later.
Okay.
But we don't need to do that right now. So now let's take a second and actually kind of like move your mouse over the card itself. And
Okay.
So how about the Superman enemy team ability? We talked about how this actually this changed over the course of the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I made a mistake at Worlds and didn't play this quite right. Well, tooltips that show you the rule itself help you remind you of subtle little changes like that. And so a lot of stuff on the card has tooltips. The Superman enemy team ability there, if you mouse over any of the powers on the dial itself, tell you what each of those does. So if you can't remember what plasticity does or earthbound neutralized, if it's on the dial, you can see.
And even the special powers say see card. Okay. Very cool.
Now, I think you said you wanted to build a brute team, right?
Yes,
Patrick?
I did.
So
want to try brute.
Click on the brute keyword.
Oh, look at that hand popped up.
Now it's just going to automatically show you all the brute pieces that are legal.
A lot of brute pieces right there. They're all good.
It's only 56.
Now, in the same way, if you so wanted, you can click on that Superman enemy team ability, and it will also show you all the Superman enemy units, which is pretty useful since it's a team ability that requires having multiple units having it, right? So
that makes sense. That makes lots of sense. But let's go back to brute here.
Yeah.
All right. So let's put on our favorite gal pal for brutes, Dark Phoenix, because that would make sense, right?
Yeah. There you go.
So I can just scroll down and be like, oh, there she is. Oh, why is there two different versions here, Clay?
One's a team up.
Look at it and you tell me.
So I can click on them and it won't. What it'll do is it'll just okay. It just moves this card. I see what it did. Okay, so it showed the team up card that way. That makes sense.
Now
and I like that it made it blue, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and so one of the deliberate decisions I made is to make the card itself feel as much like the game as possible. So it's not actually a scan of the card; it's rendered all from the data that's in the database. And so like there are subtle differences. You'll notice that like we use an image icon that's different than the 3D rendered model that they use in the card. But I really wanted it to feel just like when you're playing the game. I used to use HC Realms all the time. That was my go-to site. And what I'd find is like I got used to looking for information from the HC Realms layout, and then I go to the game and I'd be like, where's the team ability, especially on the old card. And then you're like, you're already in a stressful situation when you're playing the game. You're like, I can't figure out what this thing has. And it's buried on the back for whatever reason in the old format. And so, but now they fixed it with the new format, and so I wanted it to feel just like the game, so you kind of build that muscle memory that when you're in the tournament, you know right where it'll look and you save the time.
Okay, so I don't want this one, so I'm gonna go with the regular one. So let's add her. Oh, you even have an errata on here.
I started adding those. Yeah, that's been my latest project.
That would make sense. So let's add her. Okay.
Now you notice it's going to give you, different point value options, right? So this is another distinction from some of the other sites. Instead of having different units for every, different point value, it just knows it has them all tied together, and you pick the one you want.
All right. So I want the 50.1 because I'm not a big MOE fan. I'm over 50. Okay. I know that I want to add a prime, and I think I want to add that prime Hulk that everyone always talks about. So I think that's within the same set. Oh, is that him? That's him.
Yep.
So if I did it right, then all I have to do is add the plus and then pick the 10.1.
Yep.
Awesome. And he pops up as green for prime. Okay, that's cool.
And you notice that in the little bar above your team, it says that you've now taken up your prime slot. Now there's one other thing I want to point out too, which is in the on the right-hand side above your team. What do you see?
The right-hand side, the search for equipment.
One
across
bar
from the 1-for-1.
Oh, brute theme.
Now, it automatically figures that out for you.
Hmm.
Okay, and so if you were to delete a few figures, it would actually figure out which are viable theme teams for you, and allow you to pick the one that you want.
Okay.
Where it's actually very impressive is when you start to get into the hacks. So
are we allowed to talk about that on this podcast?
So who's, if I remember correctly, Genesis makes brutes very interesting, right?
I believe she does.
So maybe she's the next person you should add to this team.
Let's see if we can find Miss Genesis here. She's not BTU. There she is.
Jenny makes everything better.
Is what Genesis makes brutes Araco, right?
That's right.
And when they use Blade Skull's Fangs, their minimum result is printed +1. That sounds pretty good. So let's add her, I guess. I don't think I've ever seen a Genesis played for more than 35 points. How do I pay for the one with the sword? Is that this one, 35 with the sword bearer for 5 points?
Yep, that's it.
Sir.
Okay. So what just happened?
So now you'll see in the upper right hand that you can change the theme team. You can pick the one you want because now everybody's also Araco.
Okay, so it doesn't tell me. So I have to keep track in my mind that I can play brutes, monsters, and warriors part of this team now.
Yes.
But if you add, say, a warrior that doesn't have a brute, it'll just automatically update your theme team to Araco for you.
Okay, very cool, very cool. I feel like this team is missing a lot of support powers. Is there a way that I can just search for brutes with a certain power?
Sure. So the advanced search, you see the tab above the list of units on the left.
So this one?
Nope, go above that. Now there you go to advanced search.
Okay.
Now this functions a little bit different than I think what a lot of people are used to with like HC Realms or Heroclix Nexus. The idea is you build your own search. So I think you first wanted to pick brute. So add a search option, and there's a lot of them.
And I want to do brute, obviously.
Just start typing, and it'll go for you. And then I think you also wanted to search for some support powers. You said, right?
Correct. So, I think I want prob. I think prob is a good power to add.
All right. So then hit the plus button again.
Okay.
And then scroll it down to the bottom and pick a power.
Special power or trait, or no, power. That'd probably make more sense.
There you go.
And then I can scroll for probability control.
And if you actually type out prob, it'll take you there directly.
Okay. Can I search for multiple powers?
At the same slot, yeah. So why stop at prob? Maybe you should pick outwit too.
Outwit would make sense. Maybe even perplex.
Let's see what shows up.
Okay. Now, is this saying, like, since I clicked all three, it's going to look for one character that has all three in the same slot on the first click?
Yes. with a caveat. So I'll explain that in a sec. So let's go click this and see what happens.
All right, so I'm click search.
We're doing a live demo here, folks, so I don't actually know what we're going to get. All right, so the only one that actually shows up is Absorbing Man. So it's not quite right. Absorbing Man has the ability to have any one of those powers at any time, but not necessarily all of them, because he's a pickup power piece. So he's a tricky one. So that one didn't work out. But it's like, oh, your search failed, so but you could just go back and refine it. So click the little back button.
Okay.
It's not gone. This always drove me nuts about HC Realms, frankly, is
resetting.
Lose your search. Yeah, drove me nuts. So you can go back on the powers and remove one and see. Let's see if we get rid of.
Sure.
See if this helps. Nope. All right, didn't help. So this is not a problem with the site.
But I also feel like brutes aren't big on their support powers.
Nah. So let's maybe we get lucky and somebody's got prob.
Yeah, let's go. We'll minimize.
Oh,
there we go. Okay.
There we go.
And it's in fact Genesis, who we already added.
But she only has it on the Heroclix.
And she does. That's right.
So, but it's showing 35 here. But if I click on it, she doesn't have it at 35.
Yeah.
So I got to be careful. I'm assuming that's the same for all these other people as well. Then.
It may be. Yeah. So you can always remove Genesis and add her back at the midpoints where she does have the power, but I don't know. You might be in a tough spot. You're gonna.
I may have to
leverage her. Find some. Now here's an idea. Let's go back to search. So hit the back arrow again. Now we talked about how Genesis allows you to actually expand your keyword. To use what is it? Monsters and warriors and Araco. So now you can add. Why don't you add those keywords in there?
Okay, so we'll do some monster, warrior, and Araco.
Now there's this operator thing. This allows you to basically determine is it an and or an or? So do you want all those keywords? No, you actually want the or. You want the option of having only a single one.
Okay.
So now let's search for it and see what we find.
Ooh, we got a couple more options.
Yeah, now. Oh, look at that. Necron. There you go.
Venom Thanos.
Oh, we got a Mephisto, apparently. That would go well with our MOE person.
I think that's a solid move.
There you go. I like that.
Right. And he has Perplex too, right?
Yeah. So in fact, why don't we go back and now let's see if we research and add Perplex or Outwit in there again, if it finds Mephisto for us. And boom,
it did.
There you go.
And Venom Thanos and some weird Joker, the new one.
Yeah.
All right.
So why don't you see your Mephisto before we forget?
Let's not forget him. I mean, he's cool. We'll add him on, and then he'll be main force.
Yes,
sir.
And it automatically updated my theme team.
There you go. Now, while we're here and we're talking about the advanced search, I want to show you. This one's not a brute, so go back to your search. I want to show you one of the cool things about the advanced search. So let's get rid of the keywords thing here. You just X that out. Now you can in the upper right hand corner. You just drop
that one.
Thing. Yep, there you go. And for powers, let's change this to. I'm going to give you 4 powers. Get rid of those. Okay, charge.
Okay.
Stealth. Shape change and combat reflexes.
Combat reflexes. Okay.
Now search for this, and the first unit you find is Strix.
Yep.
Now I want you to look really carefully at this because I think this is really, really cool. How does she have all those powers?
Well, let's see. It looks like her move power, if I look at the card, says she has charge. So that's the first one, right? She has combat reflexes on her first click.
Yep, on the dial itself.
She has shape change as a trait.
Yep.
But she has stealth as a team ability.
Yeah, there you go.
So chicken dinner.
So we search all of the different parts of the unit when looking for powers.
But it seems like Absorber Man keeps popping up.
Because he can pick all these powers. So he's a tricky. The pick of powers pieces are tricky. He just really wants to be on your team. I think he's really angry that you already picked
He's
him.
slightly insulted.
I was like,
10
he's like, get Hulk out of here, put me on the sideline, let's go.
There's a couple other things that are pretty cool while we're on the advanced search. Now, if you actually go back into the so X out the powers thing.
Okay.
Add the keyword again. I think I actually added this specifically for Roland. He'll like this. So the has conditional keywords or provides keywords will tell you those units that let you do the keyword cheating. So it's so click the provides keywords.
Okay.
And then search for that, and it's going to show you all the units that allow you to like give other characters keywords. And so
look at that.
If you want to, if you're trying to find ways to make a theme team work, that's a pretty useful mechanism.
So Harley can make Gotham City Underworld people.
Yep.
There you go.
Very cool. Genesis is on that. Look at that. She's like, I'm going to make your team a Racco.
You could throw APOC in there and make it X-Men.
Now, let's actually go. Let's say, okay, we want to go back to our brute theme. Let's add brute back here.
Okay.
And now add one more search option. We're going to do team popularity.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so this will actually suggest units for you that it'll suggest the most popularly chosen units that also meet the other criteria. So that it's going to tell you what are the most popularly played brutes, basically.
So you're telling me this is going to now look through everyone's teams and be like, Patrick, you know what? You need a solution for something. Let's see if we can find it for you.
And I bet Mephisto is going to be at the top. Let's see.
Genesis.
Genesis.
Yep.
Genesis. Oh, because Mephisto's not a brute. But yeah, Genesis, Hulk. There you go. Bane. So that's the option you've been missing this whole time.
And Bane was the outwit, right?
Let's see.
What does he got? He's got brute.
Yeah, there you go. He has outwit on his starting dial.
He's got outwit. And wow, okay. Then he draws lines of fire through characters that share keywords. I should add this guy to my team.
There you go.
You should.
All right, let's do that. Let's main force him.
Dude, this guy is so rare, like because the iconics are so hard to find.
Well, don't worry, I got one of these already.
Well, Jeff, you just sent me one, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
No, I got you. I take care of you. But yeah, like I've seen him selling for like double online, double MSRP. Like it's crazy.
Wow. Well, thank you again then for being
you're good, man.
one of my favorite plastic crack dealers.
I do what I can. I'm here to serve all.
Now, while we're on this topic of popularity, we're actually going to debut this feature on this podcast. So the second button next to the big plus there.
This thing. Suggest teammates.
So this is going to tell you if you like this unit, who are the other most popular units that appear on teams with this unit.
So you're telling me that this button is going to tell me combos with guys that people have been playing?
That's right. So this was a suggestion from Ed Berkowitz on the Four Corners team. He had suggested this to me at Worlds, and it took me a few weeks, but I figured out how to implement it. So if you go click on it,
okay,
who it suggests as a teammate for Bane.
Main force, I guess, so we can see that.
Yep.
It's Scott Porter.
Scott Porter, what a surprise! I'm actually surprised it took him so long to show up because he may be the best brute. And look at that, you actually have 25 points left.
Wait a second, Scott Porter's coming onto my team. All right, this.
Choose wisely.
Well, let's see.
It's true.
All these guys are from different teams. So I could do what? White shirt Scott is the one that says if they're part of the theme team, they'll get a +1 attack, which is nice. but they're not from the same set, so they won't get the damage. He provides the cool pulse wave knockback, which is nuts to begin with. And he has prop.
You get free equipment.
And I get free equipment because he gets all the keywords.
There you go. So let's actually add him because I think that's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
All right. So now we're at max points, but so we have to add some of the free stuff, right?
And we paid for a sword too. You
paid for a sword. Now you actually technically don't have to pick your sword until you start the game. Okay. But it's kind of useful from a planning perspective to have an idea of what you want to assign Genesis or your sword bearer. In this case, that's Genesis. Now, of course, so maybe why don't we go to Genesis and go try that suggest feature teammate again and see what it picks for equipment for you.
Let's see. Sinestro ring.
Which is a little weird. I think it's because it's not telling you what she specifically uses. It's telling you what is on teams with her. So apparently Sinestro ring is now very popular. But Soul Sword, which is I think the more obvious option, is number 2 there. So
that would make sense.
Yep. So go ahead and add that.
And then just add that to team. Oh, and assign for her for 0 points. Look at that. And if you put a happy face there, that's
I did because I want to make sure that you take advantage of the free stuff, right? So
okay. So now, if I remember correctly from what Jeff was suggesting, Scott Porter has every keyword. So can't he just take every equipment for free?
Anything that has a keyword requirement. So if you click on Soul, let's say Warlock, because if you click on Warlock and you try to add that, it's going to say sideline or scratch space. Now, but if you click on one of the, now we could say the Sinestro core ring, because that's certainly a good option for him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at that. Scott Porter. I feel like Scott Porter really wants to instill fear in the people.
To drop that on him. Now what just showed up on the right-hand side?
Whoa, a huge thing popped up for associated units.
Yeah, so all of those constructs that are generated off or outside of the game will just automatically be added for you, which is kind of nice. So it'll help you remember, what you need to pack when you go to your game, right?
So Clay, I actually see a mistake. Is it okay if I point it out?
Yeah, please.
You have 2 cowboy boots on there in modern right now, and the Wonder Woman cowboy boot is not modern legal.
Oh, you're totally right. That's good eye, Jeff.
I do what I can.
I need to filter out the associated units for modern legality or for the format legality. All right. Finding bugs. Love it.
Dude, I message you all the time. I'm like, hey.
It's getting harder. The bugs are...
No, it definitely is. It's been a while, so I'm always happy to catch one. All right. But yeah, no, so if you have 3 different rings, it's going to give you all the different equipment for it. If you have a character with bystanders, it's going to be there too. So if you put in, so on your sideline, right, if you put in Black Skull, his War Machine bystander should be on the associate stuff, right?
Okay.
Yep. All right. Now, of course, your main force is not your entire team.
This is true.
My first website was HC Maps, and I'm a big map geek, so I feel like we need to move on to let's find some good maps. What do you think?
Let's do that. Well, obviously, since Non-Ursa and Zod don't start on the map until I get some tokens off, I need to blow up some walls or pieces of terrain. I think it's terrain specific. I don't remember. So can I just click on the guy's name to double check his ability?
Sure.
So if I click on this, I can double check it. Let's see. At the beginning of the game, and when he removed token, and whenever one or more terrain markers are destroyed. So I need to find something that has terrain markers on it.
So you want maps. So let's just so now you see all the little buttons next to the little areas of your team.
Yep.
Well, that's going to automatically search for units that fit within that category. So click on the maps button there.
Okay.
And boom, it's going to show you all of the modern legal maps.
Nice. That's a lot of words there, but I'm not seeing any maps though. Is it like a unit where I got to click on it?
Yeah, you have to click on it.
Okay, let's see.
Now, are you using your desktop? I assume you're using your desktop, Patrick.
I am.
So I really like hotkeys. So I find that if you actually you can use your arrow keys to navigate up and down this list really quickly.
Oh, look at that.
Ah, clever.
And so you can scan through those. Now I actually just updated the maps just over this past weekend. This is another late breaking feature. So I've added. It'll now show you whether it's an indoor or outdoor map. It kind of shows up really nicely on the character card there as well. But it looks a little small for some of these big maps. But I have a solution for you. Go ahead and click on that map.
Okay, clicking on the map. Whoa!
Boom. So it makes it full screen for you and shows you. It takes up the full screen real estate, and so it makes it allows you to see kind of in more detail what the map actually consists of. And if you just click anywhere off of it, it'll close it. So
now I have a question. Is there a filter for when you do a map that says like I want a lot of blocking terrain? So let's say I don't want to look through like 30, 40 different maps. I want to sometimes like it's got at least like 20 pieces of blocking terrain on it.
Not on HCunits yet. That exists on HC Maps. You're welcome to pull that up.
Okay, I can manage that. Let's see what happens.
HCmaps.net.
Look at that blasphemy that came up.
So so if you click on, see how it says blocking? Yep. And boom, it's going to automatically filter down that list, and you can just kind of use those same arrow keys to navigate. So it's only going to show you maps that have blocking.
Okay, so like I want Atlantis Throne Room is what it sounds like. There's lots of brown here. So let's see. Is that on this one? Yes, it is. So where maybe I need to see a little bit better, I can always do like this, like you were suggesting. Oh, perfect. So let's add this map. Okay. Can I do associated units with this map as well? Because I see that button popped up.
You can, yeah. Now this one's a brand new map. I don't know if anybody's going to have people probably have built teams with it. It's a pretty interesting map, that's for sure, because it's all water.
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of fish people coming up when I click this.
I think you're probably right, yeah.
I don't think anyone's built with it.
No one's built with it.
Nope. All right. I just added it a couple days ago, so it's very new.
Okay.
Now let's say another one that has a lot of blocking is Morlock tunnels. So I'm going to show you another hotkey. Okay. If you hit the slash button, maybe this is I think it's the backslash button. It's the one with the key. Yeah, it'll automatically put the cursor on your quick search button.
Okay.
Or in your quick search box there. So you can just
Morlock.
search Morlock ton or Morlock. Yeah. And boom. Of course, it brings up a few. It's also searching for keywords, so it finds some Morlock units. But it finds your tunnels, the map there too.
So now I can be like, it's a 2x3, but it's still a map. I can add that onto my choices here.
There you go.
Just to add, Clay, I like how you added the indoor-outdoor labels on the map.
I know it was long overdue. I also added the ability to search for that too. So so you can search for maps.
Like I want an outdoor map, so let's go outdoor.
Oh, that's not going to work. Sorry.
Oh no.
But you can do the advanced search. That's what I had meant.
So advanced search.
So if you want to just reset this whole thing, there's a little recycle button there. But yeah, map type.
Map type. Where are you? Map type.
Under unit property. Yep.
I need to sort this better. But there you go. Outdoor.
Okay. Bam. Let's see.
You notice that all the filtering, the advanced search filtering, automatically only shows you the modern age stuff. It automatically filters by the format, so it's not going to show you all the old stuff.
So, you know what? I feel like putting Wakanda on there because that's one of my go-to outdoor maps.
There you go.
Bam. So now it says 3 out of 3, so I've picked all my maps.
Yep. So it won't let you add anymore.
Okay.
How else do we want to flesh this thing out? You want to add some objects or terrain markers?
I would love to add some objects because I will. Well, let's say do some terrain markers because I do need to destroy terrain markers for Zod, right? So where would those be?
So if you click the objects, there's
Yep.
you can pick objects or terrain markers.
Terrain markers. All right.
And it's going to sort it automatically based on like the category of the terrain marker you want.
Let's see. What's this one look like? Oh, it's a panther statue. That's pretty cool. You know what? I may be going to Black Panther Town, so let's add
Here's
that
another
one.
bug I see. Ice blocking terrain is not a standard terrain marker that should be filtered out.
Ooh, yeah, that's only for Mr. Freeze, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, so I love this live debugging. It's great.
Now, here's a question. I don't know this, but Jeff is a resident rules guru. I did not know that the new objects count as terrain markers.
Yeah, there is clear terrain though.
Okay.
It's a strange. So objects are a subset of terrain. Which is a little weird, but
they're like terrain objects.
I'm going to add a ladder because, God forbid, I need to get high on something that's not life. And I always like the one. Now, is there a way for your terrain markers that I can filter out the ones that just have special properties?
I don't have that yet. That's a good suggestion, though.
Right, because I know there are certain ones that came out in Spider-Man that's like if you're on it, you get energy shield and stuff like that.
Lava.
Yeah, they're actually, if you scroll up just a little bit,
the pool lava,
right,
the heart-shaped herb, and
in the middle of that.
The steel mesh fencing, was it? Yeah.
Well, I see you have grave terrain marker, but
I need to
that
get rid
one
of that too.
Yeah.
Scroll down a little bit more. There it is. Steel mesh fencing and heart-shaped herb bush.
Okay. I feel like brutes aren't really range heavy, so let's give them some defense for some terrain for a gain shot at. Great. I don't know. All my objects are good.
How about some tarot deck?
I think that's a great idea.
Oh, actually, you know what? Before we go there, let's go back to the sideline because I was just thinking, you know what sideline piece would go great with this is a mystery card.
Ooh, do I have a detective?
Right?
Oh, you don't have a detective. Wait. Oh, I guess
mystical
is a detective.
It's mystical too.
Cool.
Oh, it's mystical as well. I don't know.
Mystery of the Strange Cube is what you're saying, or a mod?
Amon's Tomb, yeah.
Let's see. Mystical detective. Now, is HCunits going to tell me that this is actually viable, or can I just add things to my sideline that are even unviable when they're mystery cards?
I think you can add anything to your sideline is the rule.
Yeah, there's no restrictions to sideline, except for the number of things you can put on there.
Yep. So
if you have you just have to look and see if you have mystical.
I do have a mystical with Mephisto.
Is he going to be destroying some blocking?
No.
Maybe he needs to.
I don't think he can if he wanted to.
Anyways, I just wanted to show you could search for these mystery cards.
Heck yeah, he can. He's got 3 damage, 5 reigns. He can shoot something.
What?
Don't count my boy out. Just, playing 2 Ultra Chases on your team like it's no big deal, right?
I mean, it's just a really expensive team. I mean, we play Heroclix. All right, so let's. Oh, what about MOE guys? I need to add MOE guys because I do have Dark.
Yeah, there you go. So search for sideline active. Does that help?
Yeah, let's find out.
Might not help in this case because only Mephisto is sideline active.
Boo.
Yeah,
but if you search Masters of Evil, they'll all show up.
Well, okay.
So why don't you click on Dark Phoenix?
Click on Dark Phoenix.
And then just click on the Masters of Evil. You can do the team ability. You can do the keyword. There you go.
All right, so I want to add Black Skull because he always is really good, and King Killmonger. So let's see, add him to sideline.
There you go.
And it added War Machine to my my associated units now. Let's add some King Killmonger action here because that's always great.
Inquisitor, solid.
Yeah, well, I want to add that guy. Inquisitor, I feel like adding Ghost Goblin because he's my boy. So how many guys do I got already? Oh, I got 4 out of 6. Is there a way of knowing if anyone else is a sideline active guy to add here?
A sideline active guy?
Yeah.
That
the sideline active card.
It's this, right? That was the button. Let's see. Does any of these work with the team?
Probably not.
Do you have any Stark Industries?
Maybe if I'm in Inquisitor and someone gets and if he gets pegged.
Yeah.
I mean, Scott Porter has all keywords, right?
Yeah, Scott Porter has all
Scrappy's keywords. Scrappy's the move.
Right.
So Scrappy gets to come in at top click if Scott Porter dies.
Yeah. Ooh. What about Agent Coulson? I've been wanting to use his cool stuff because if shield guys do something, he comes in for freezies. Because isn't his when a friendly character? He's not 50 points. Been awesome. Can you do Red Raven? Because I know Red Raven's really good.
Yeah. Character 40 points or more.
Duh. Nope.
No.
Amanda Waller?
War Machine might work.
I think it's War Machine or Scrappy is your move.
Well, I already had Scrappy.
Oh, you got one more?
Too. Yeah.
I got one more left.
Waller.
She's what? If 2 or more friendly characters that share a keyword with her KO'd, she can come in.
Politician or Spy would probably be.
Yeah.
So we'll add a War Machine just in case someone decides to go after Scott Porter and pays the price.
Come in with that enhancement.
Mm-hmm. All right. So our sideline is now loaded out.
So let's jump to Tarot Deck really quickly, but let's not spend a ton of time here because I don't want our listeners to get bored. But you can click on those, and you at least see that it shows you the art, both within the list of units as well as if you click on it.
That's nice.
And then in this case, it shows you that there's actually an errata as well. So
say on Judgment too.
Yeah. So at least what's true and what's not.
Okay, very cool.
So let's pause so actually a couple things left in the team builder that I wanted to point out. There's a couple buttons within in the top the team description area as well. You can change your cover photo if you want by clicking the little button next to that. So, but I pick whoever you want. Bane looks pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
And I want to give a huge shout out to Corey Franklin and Brad Broyles, who contributed almost all the art to the site and really did a phenomenal job with it. But you can then, if you click on the little icon with the pencil on it,
edit notes.
You can add team notes. So if you have a strategy that you want to either remember for yourself or just share with others, it gives you that option. Now, one of the cool things here is you can also add media. You can add images. You can add links to videos on YouTube. And so, it's unfortunately a little bit hidden right now, but I do want to eventually add even better ways of highlighting some of the media associated with the team. So you can, search for videos that the team was played in, like the great folks on the Dial H podcast did an amazing job with the videos for Worlds. If you haven't watched them, you absolutely should. They're phenomenal. And we've added them on the top teams in the tournament for Worlds. And that might actually be the next thing to get into. So actually, let's close this for now. Let's go explore tournaments. So we've been cataloging the big tournaments that have been played in the last 6 months. And so let's go ahead and click on the World Championship. So we were all there ourselves. We got to witness a few of those. 155 players, one of the best turnouts we have. We recorded the top 32 teams, and so you can very easily scroll down those teams and see what people played, as well as what they ranked.
I feel like I want to go to my boy Nicholas here.
But before you do that, you can actually go click on. Oh, I didn't. It's not. I have to recheck this out. For some reason, it's not showing the ability to look on the notes, but you should be able to see the notes for this team and see that video. So looks like we found another bug.
Okay.
But go ahead, yeah. Click on Nick. He had a pretty phenomenal. I think this was his first time at Worlds, right?
Yeah. Second
time. All right. Well, he did very well. Using my new favorite Black Lantern, Ms. Marvel.
We'll get there
it's
in a
Scott
few
Porter.
minutes.
It's Scott Porter.
So it's an easy way to browse all the units. Now I just added this too. You see the little button up in kind of the title area.
Okay.
Sorry, in the around the World Championship header itself.
This one?
So this is actually going to click on that. It's going to break down the meta for you and show you what were the most popularly played units within this tournament.
Oh, wow.
So we can see Saki Iron Man clocking in at number 1. 15 teams had him. Mephisto at number 2, Carnage Silver Surfer at number 3, and this one's kind of a surprise actually, but Legacy Green Lantern, amazing piece. So, and then Spider-Man, who really had I feel like he was top of the meta for the tournament, only showed up on 9 of the top 32 teams.
Interesting.
I like how Scott Crampton, he was number 7.
There you go, yeah.
Cool. For a POG, a 4-point POG.
And so this is just the local meta, but if you're interested in the site-wide meta, you can go back to Explore and click on meta there. And now it's going to show you what are the most, for the month and the format and the team group that you chose. It's going to show you what are the most popular units. And so you can see right now, because it's the first day of October, so we have so for some reason it's showing Scott Porter, but you go back to September, you see there's Scott Porter number 1, shooting to the top of the meta for the month of September.
525 teams of white shirt.
Look at that.
And then literally 100 less of the black shirt. Wow.
Yeah. And
well,
then
they get paid together.
Necron, who jumped up a massive 85 position slots in the meta, is 202 teams, so well short of the top 525 that Scott's on. But so there you go. So if you're looking for ideas for what to build a team around or what you think you're going to face, this is the page to go to. You get a sense for what people are building, and you can change the slot there too if you want to see what are the most popular equipment pieces that people are playing. You can, or even the most interesting tarot cards. Yeah,
that's tarot cards is a good one because like sometimes you get stuck, you're not sure what to play, and you kind of like you don't always want to play what is going to help everyone. It's a good one to look at.
Well, Modern Pulp says Falcon is number 1.
Yeah, not surprised. And Deathstroke at number 2. He's up there. Red Widow number 3. Yeah. Poison Ivy. We certainly learned our lesson that she's top tier meta as well.
Oh, yeah.
Queen of Pulp.
Yeah. Let's see what else. before we move on to a different segment of the show, I will note that if you click on the little icon in the upper right next to your logged in username, we will switch to dark mode. This is a very popularly requested feature.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want your eyes to bleed when you're when you're browsing units in the dark,
My eyes do appreciate this right now.
that's pretty nice. So
I do have a question. Did I
yeah.
have to save my team, or did the system automatically save it for me? Because we wandered off somewhere else.
That was going to be the first thing I actually mentioned. I totally forgot. Yeah, your team is automatically saved. Any changes you do. So if you go back to build,
Okay.
and you can build an existing team since it's automatically saved, and there it is, shows up right in your list of teams. So,
fantastic.
and you'll notice that you see the little icon in the lower right hand of the card there. That indicates that you do have a note for that team as well. And so if, on the home page, if you go and you are looking for or you're exploring for teams, you can see which teams people have taken the extra effort to add the strategy to it.
Okay. So I can just go, what's the note? Show me the note. Oh, no. It told me to get good. That's terrible.
Now, I guess
Best advice you can give.
That I should know. It's a very popular feature. The second button there will download the build sheet for you. So it's this probably is going to be the most uninteresting thing unless you have Excel. Oh, you do. You have so you click on if you could bring that up.
You see the Excel?
I don't.
Yeah. Well, it's in the upper right hand part of Chrome. There's a little button icon that shows you your downloaded files.
Yes, right here.
Yep.
I think it's because you're sharing the Chrome window and not your screen.
Okay.
No worries, but you should. But you can at least you can go and
I do
validate
see a build sheet, and it has signatures and all that
fills
fun
out
stuff.
most of the info, and boom, there you go. You're ready to go play this team at a tournament now.
I mean, I feel pretty satisfied with this. I mean, I don't know why I'm not paying like $5 a year for this right now. I'm pretty sure everyone would like to throw $5 a year at this, except for your co-host, obviously, because that's okay for us.
You know what? People have been very kind, but honestly, like I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because I love the community. I want people to play the game more. I want to make it more accessible, and making it easier and more fun to build teams is the way to do that. It's the way to grow our community. And honestly, the best parts of this site are the parts that collect data from all the teams people are using that help suggest units. And so I am happy to make this site free and let everybody use it.
So we can take over the world.
Take over the world. That's what
right.
we want.
Hey, if we're taking over the world with Heroclix, we're doing something right.
Yeah.
But to add on what you're saying, like there's still people that don't know about this site, and I share it with anyone and everyone that will listen. So like a lot of players in my area still haven't had a chance to experience it because like I go to different stores every here and there. I'm like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, and then talking about team building, and we're all talking about HCunits. They're like, what's that? And I'm like, dude. So I send them the link, and then I'll get a message the next day. This website's amazing. So Clay, you're doing amazing work. Thank you, sir.
Well, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it.
I will say this as
we
a
appreciate
person
you.
that hasn't used it before on their own, right? Your guided access totally did help. And that even though maybe I'd have to putz around a bit to understand some of these, right? Just clicking and messing around will get you everything you need to know about this website, which is very user friendly. It's not like when I had to learn how to use other websites where you had to really have someone be like, oh, I found this trick, did you know you could do this? And go like, no, your website, you can just play around and eventually figure it out, which
That's
is
the
nice.
hope. I know there's some hidden stuff. Hopefully we'll cover some of that today. The only thing I didn't mention is visibility. I know this confuses some people, but so it starts off private, and only and when it's private, you're the only one who can see that team. If you change the visibility to unlisted, you can share the team with people through URL. Anybody who has that URL can access it, just to view it. It won't show up in any of the searches, the homepage, anything else. You have to specifically have the URL. And of course, if you change it to public, because you're very proud of your team, then it's going to show up on the homepage. It's going to show up in all the searches, and people will be able to see what you're playing.
You know, for that, because we're going to do that, we're going to make it them.
Yeah, let's do it. I like that.
All right, very cool. I love it.
All right, so hopefully we'll count you in as the next user for the website, and you can send me all the bugs that you find when you start playing with it.
I certainly will make sure to let you know everything.
Well, thanks for being the guinea pig, Patrick. Appreciate it.
You know, it was a good experience. You know, it's what do they always say, that you get too comfortable with things and you just kind of get used to monotony, and you decide to go, you know what, no monotony anymore. Time to learn how to do something better and more user-friendly, and I like it.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But like my 10-year-old son is on your site every day building teams, and he's like, Clay added a new feature. It's a little different, but I'll get used to it. That was the comment when you added the new search stuff, and you changed the plus was on the upper right, and you changed it to the left. So I think he kept clicking the X. He's like, I'll get used to it.
Yeah, I need to make room so that I can add space for have wants, because that's the next thing that I'm going to start working on.
Ooh, yes. Like a trade thing where you can meet up with people who have your haves and you have their wants.
That would be pretty cool, huh?
That would be very cool.
So yeah,
take down eBay.
Inventory management. Just needed to make some UI.
It's more of an inventory list, right?
Yep, that's the goal. Yep. Have something pretty you can share. You know, I know one of the things, you know, a lot of the other sites have the ability to, you know, have wants and trades, but I was going to add, you know, you see a lot of times on Facebook, people are like, oh, this is my 5-star, my highest, you know, want. So I want to be able to have something like that, be able to have a nice, easy printable list that you can drop into your social media to show what you're looking for. And I don't want to do all the trades. The Facebook groups, and of course our amazing, you know, Heroclix stores can provide that service. I just want to help help track what you're looking for.
So it's actually funny you guys talk about that, because like I played CCGs like my whole life, Magic, Pokemon, like Yu-Gi-Oh, right? And people always have their trade binders. Nobody ever brings their clicks to trade to events. Like,
what are you talking about? Mine's always in the back of my car.
Yeah.
Melting. Melting. But like the first couple events, like I bring a little extra stuff, like, oh, this is what I have for trade, and like nobody would have trade, so I like stopped bringing it, right? But I always found it mind-boggling that nobody like brings stuff to trade, except for, you know, the Facebook pages. Don't get me started there.
So that's how one ends up in the Heroclix retail business. Is you go so long without being able to find somebody to trade with. Eventually, you have everything, and you start a business from it.
Started everything. Oh, too much.
Well,
All right.
We wanted to talk about. I know we've been doing this for a long time.
Thank you so much for that. You guys broke it down. Hopefully, it's kind of a how-to on how to work HCunits. Again, if you guys have any questions, message Clay, myself. I could probably help you out, or if not, I'll get you in contact with Clay. But let's talk a little bit about bronze and upcoming events. So I don't know if you guys know or not, but Majestix in SoCal is now Majestix SoCal, and under new operator. It's Juan and Alyssa took over, so they're having their grand opening October 7th. This upcoming Saturday. The format's going to be 300 bronze. It's not an open series event. It's just a Bronze Age event, and they got some cool pricing. Alyssa got a bunch of Connellys from Worlds, and they're giving away a brick and to the winner, and breaking down the other brick for like top 4 or something like that. With rotation, we updated our ban list. I'll share my screen now.
So I updated HCunits just over the weekend with this now.
Yeah, so we had some updates. So usually we always try and keep most of the modern lists on there, unless it's like a problematic map that we're just tired of seeing, and it's just not a fun play experience, right? Because there's a lot of extra things you can do in bronze. So if the map makes it easier to do those extra things, and you're not having an interactive play experience, it's going to go. You guys can read that in the article. So as always, we have all our location bonus maps. 2 of them were modern legal up until a couple weeks ago. So now all of them are on their list. And we cut everything to X of Swords to Notorious. So I added the 4 Notorious maps, and I think we took out Morlock Tunnels because that map sucks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, your team is not going to work in bronze, Patrick.
No. Bummer. So, we like to have interactive games, not just sit there and stare at your opponent. So you guys can come check this out on here. And we also have our Majestix maps: Temple of Gloom, Hayden Street, No-Buy Cabin, Taggart Farm, Glass Lake, Hunter's Jungle. Hunter's Jungle is definitely the oldest on there. And as always, we'll always have Arcades Arena, and our resident Bronze Age map is the WWE Backstage Arena. Just to throw some WWE out there, love. Roland, that's for you, buddy. So that's the easy one. The more complicated one that people are always interested in is our ban list. So we have a council. So I think a lot of the regular listeners know we have a council. There's a group of 5-6 of us that are in a chat group, and we all kind of talk about what figures are disruptive, broken to the format, right? Make it not fun, make it unenjoyable to play. So obviously D20 Felix Faust, right? Not fun. Team bases don't even work. Resources, ID cards, gone. Some of the ones you may not be unfamiliar with. Copycat, Copycat switches their figure for yours, and then you're playing their Copycat. You build a team to play your figures, right? Resurrection Man is part of the whole Undying team. We had to pick one figure from all those combos to get rid of. So he's the one that got picked. Justin Seifert, if you guys remember, with Krang, all that abusiveness.
I think he needs to be revisited, man. Justin doesn't have quite the oomph he used to. Vision
Prime. We kind of looked at him with Vision Prime. He's one that I feel could probably come off, and we could see what happens, right? Well, I think we need a little more data on it. Morphing Jar, you guys literally pick all your figures up off the map, and you kind of swap sides. It takes time. It's why am I even playing Heroclix, right? I'm just going to swap sides. Omega Drive, the wording's really weird and doesn't line up with the new rules. Legion, Adam spent 40 minutes in one turn creating tokens, and he was doing something the whole time. Bat Signal is on there because every team was playing it. Every single team. And it's basically a run over, I'm going to hit you, then I'm going to Bat Signal back. And the risk outweighed. There was no risk to the reward of doing it, right? So it made things not as interactive. Ragdoll has some weird interactions with certain things with his wording. Because whenever you're going to an adjacent square, you take on one unavoidable, I believe is the wording. And then there's weird interactions with that. Penguin, again, another weird one where friendly characters can attack, miss, do things. If you put the illusion generator on there, it's a lot of time consuming creating all the tokens. It's not necessarily good, but you're just sitting there watching your opponent do all these things and nothing's happening, right? Ultron 7, that's the Fantastic Four one that you can keyword cheat and get an extra. I think PJ came up with almost an extra 300 points when he did it. So that's just really unfair, right? Bizarro Green Arrow, it was either him or Jason Wingard for the infinite combo. And we decided to get rid of Bizarro Green Arrow. And our most recent removal was the Judgment Tarot card. And we removed it because WizKids actually eroded it and made a correction to where you gain a maximum of 3 mission points a turn instead of the unlimited that you could have potentially gotten before. And I believe they figured out a way to do it in one turn, without even your opponent having a turn. So we got rid of that. And then you see Emperor Blue Boy here. Scarab, he is now on the ban list for multiple reasons. Like again, it's on it. You don't have to leave your starting area, and you can interact across the board, right?
That's very true.
Like access to the rocket launcher. Like no one has ever played those equipment from the Punisher van, right? I think I have all that shit sitting right here, right? Like no one has ever played that, but it says you can't start it on your main force. Guess what? Your sideline's not your main force. So with Mad Jim, you put it on the side of Mad Jim, you equip it to someone, he copies it, and because of this ruling with the radioactive clay, like it doesn't, it's more than a one-time use. So he's doing it every single turn. He's got access to all the different things to where he can just mind control you. He can knock you back without interacting. And especially now with the Scott Porters, Secret Six becomes much more of a thing again, because that's that kind of missing piece with those thugs that makes it even more broken, that he can just outwit anything. So he is now on our ban list.
So that's officially the only character that's now banned in every age.
Yeah. Modern, silver. I guess he's allowed in golden, because there's like no specific ban list for golden, but what are you going to do? So with that in mind, and this being a Bronze Age event this coming weekend, we have Notorious. That's now going to be legal on the 7th. We have Notorious is legal on the 4th, this Wednesday, 2 days from now. And then on the 7th will be all the con LEs from the previous month, which was everything released at Worlds. So this, and the Scott Porters that came out. So Scott Porters are legal, all the con LEs from Worlds, and Notorious. What do you think, gentlemen, we will be seeing this weekend?
Like in general, or just from Notorious?
Just in general. Like, what do you think the new teams are going to be?
Obviously, it's going to be like some sort of like Prime Spider-Man thing.
Okay,
right?
because he won Worlds, right?
He won Worlds. I think if someone's smart, they make a really cool Poison Ivy team, the rare one.
Poison Ivy's bae, dude. She's so good.
She's the new pulp queen, that's for sure.
My Gotham City pulp team is undefeated at the moment. I even somebody came to the event and didn't bring a pulp team, but they got a Wonder Woman's Generations from me. They're like, "Oh, I'll just play this." I'm like, "All right, I guess." I fucking crushed that team. Like, it wasn't even close. Like, I think they killed like one thing, and then everything started dying.
Well, I think as we saw earlier in the meta, my guess is the new hotness is going to be centered around not only Scott Porter but Necron and the Black Lanterns, of which Scott Porter is a Black Lantern, as well as, like I mentioned earlier, Ms. Marvel. Oh boy, I think she's great. So I'm curious. I'm not sure it's actually going to win. In fact, I feel pretty strongly it's not going to win. But I think people are going to go for it. Try to pump up that 600-point team with a couple of Necrons. So it'd be interesting to see. Certainly, Necron himself is pretty tough.
Yeah.
Obviously, Carnage Silver Surfer is going to be there.
But he's actually never performed very well in the Bronze Age format.
That is true, but I will quote Roland. Bronze Age is a lot of Modern Age stuff with Bronze Age add-ons onto it. That's his 100%. Opinion of it.
Like, most people play Modern, right?
Right. And I'm wondering if that's going to change now that since he's the new Modern hotness, maybe someone takes their Modern team, turns it into Bronze, and goes crazy.
It's a possibility.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see, I think Spider-Man.
Okay.
Necro Spider is still a very damn good team.
The reach is real. It's a lot.
And it just tears apart those Carnage Surfers.
Because, anything with an all-black Necro Sword and enough damage just one-shots a Surfer.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hoping someone plays the was it the Ferengi trader that just steals their sword.
You know, I played a team with Ferengi Salvage, and it's very niche, and you gotta play it well. Like you have to have the right tech with it to protect him. And is it just him or is it someone adjacent?
If I remember correctly, he at the beginning of the game picks an equipment and then takes it from them. Whereas I think it was Sharon Carter was the one that made you drop it, and then you rolled a d6, and that's how many squares it moved away.
You just play Michelangelo, right?
You mean Leo?
Yeah, sorry, excuse me. Space Leo.
Space Leo.
Space Leo. Great figure.
Yeah, no, it's right. When a friendly character that's adjacent or has Ferengi keyword hits an opposing character that's equipped, after resolutions, the hit character unequips their equipment. So I was playing it with Onslaught. So like it was really hard to get in on me. And I was playing the Shifting Focus Wonder Woman, so they couldn't drop in on me. Mm-hmm. And I was able to shoot because he's got like 9 range. He's got 3 attacks, right? And it's just whenever that hits an opposing character. So I was mind controlling people for free, making them drop their shit.
Mm.
That was a Yapoko special. All right. So I'm gonna go. I know Clay, you have a concert. And then Pat, you
I'm
make
not able to go. Yep, I'm gonna be rocking out to Iron Maiden, Metallica, AC/DC.
I'm gonna say that's pretty cool, but I never picked you for a heavy metal guy. I think that's awesome.
Oh yeah, total metalhead.
All right.
I will not be able to attend too many weekends of we're going to call it lonely girlfriend syndrome. So I'm going to spend some time with her and friends and things like that are like, where have you been for the past 4 weeks, Pat? Oh, I was in Memphis and I had this and that to do.
You got a new job. Like, it seems like a good enough excuse to me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm bringing the wife with me. She's going to take the daughter and go do things in LA, Anaheim area. I think they're going to go to downtown Disney. They did not get tickets to Disneyland.
Aww.
But they're just going to... Quinn's going the next weekend. I think she'll be okay. She's going next weekend.
The addiction is real, man.
Dude, Disney is an addiction. It's a happy place that makes everybody feel just a little bit better.
And broke.
That's fair.
That's your fair. Happiness is worth the broke.
You feel lighter, and that's the disappearance of cash from your wallet.
Yes, it is.
All right. So I hope to see not you two gentlemen there, but the rest of you guys, and especially those people that always said Scarab was the reason they don't play in Bronze. Have no more excuses. Mm-hmm. So if there's nothing else, I think that's it.
Ooh, I do have a good question. I've been asking people this question. So now that Notorious has been out for a week.
Yep.
Right? If you had to pick one figure to say is like your favorite figure from Notorious, what would it be? I can go first to make it
Poison Ivy.
Ooh, good choice. I like that one. Right. My favorite so far has been Two-Face. Because I love that cool ability to swap between 2 different figures, right? And he's got that really cool, like, you know what? I'm going to flip a coin. What's a coin in Heroclix? I don't know, but if I get heads, it's a crit hit. If I get tails, it's a crit miss. Let's do this with energy explosion.
Missed opportunity. WizKids should have printed one in their Dyson token pack.
They sure should have.
But it makes sense, so they won't do it.
Clay, what do you got?
Man, I know he's like not modern. He's not going to be competitive in really much, but man, I like Lex. I like number 1 Lex. I just love the ability to give outwit to everybody on your team.
So squishy.
He is. He's got a glass jaw. The other one I played a couple sealed the last few weeks, and who's actually been really good is Bizarro. Boy, Bizarro at low points starts with hypersonic, close combat expert, super strength. Oh man, you're throwing somebody around for 5 damage in one hit. You can kill it, single shot a goon. Like he's a sealed terror. So
Okay.
So I'm assuming we all have the biggest disappointment figures the same though in the set. Is it OMAC? Regular OMAC?
It's hard to beat OMAC as the worst figure in the set.
But I wouldn't say he's the biggest disappointment because I didn't expect anything from him.
Okay.
Right? So, like, if I have no expectations, I feel like either Mirror Master or Gentleman Ghost.
Ooh, Mirror Master, a lot of people I've been chit-chatting with is like, he's a waste of a figure.
Yeah.
He is. How is
Thank
he
you.
more points than a goon, by the way?
That is
Like-
true.
He's a pretty powerful villain from Flash's Rogues Gallery, right? Like, he can do some cool stuff. He doesn't do any of that cool stuff.
He doesn't have anything. Like, he doesn't have multiple targets. He doesn't have you would expect him to have the ability to carry. That would have solved it. Like, I don't know why he can't just carry people, because I feel like all the other Mirror Masters can carry.
At the minimum, he does something like the Spot from SVC, right?
Yeah.
So he can punch from like 5 scores away or something. Or they can punch through each other, right? Anything, right? But he's just... I'd rather play Polka Dot Man.
1 damage. I mean,
That's saying a lot.
I know.
you have police officers who can do more damage.
If that's your definition of disappointing, I'm going to say King Robin or whatever that guy is.
Robin King, yeah.
Robin King.
He's pretty poopy.
He is very bad.
Because just think about it, like Mirror Master's an uncommon. You're just like, meh, okay. You pull a super rare and it's Robin King. You're going, oh man, really?
Yeah, in fact, the last 2 weekends that I played sealed each weekend. I pulled Robin King each weekend, and he sat in the booster. Did not. I'm like, well, that's an immediate not going to play.
Clay, you want to mail one of those to me? I don't have it yet. I'll take the garbage off your hands.
I got you, bud.
It's going to cost more in shipping than the value of the figure is worth.
That's totally true. Don't waste the money. It's not worth it.
I'll send it back with Nick this weekend.
Oh, okay. I'll take your garbage and he'll have a good home rotting in one of my trucks.
I do what I can to help.
Appreciate it.
We'll put it towards our trade when you finally find a piece.
You know what, Scott Crampton, he's hiding from me. Roland has volunteered to help come over this weekend, and
Thank you, Roland.
Go through the hot mess that is the pile. Oh, I don't know if it's a pile anymore. What's bigger than a pile?
Mound.
A mound.
Mound. Yeah. Mound of just old Heroclix that are sitting in my garage that are going, hey, so when are you going to take me over to Pat and get rid of me?
I think my disappointment for the set was probably the Ultra Chase. I'm sorry. I know it's around it. And having to like pay 70 points and wait 3 turns before you can use it is quite a disappointment.
3? What are you talking about? We just made a team that gets it done in 2.
Oh, 2 turns. All right. Sorry. Still.
And they come into play anywhere on an edge or a piece of debris. So you don't get them
turn this into a meta team, Patrick. Man, I'll give you huge props.
Yes.
So.
But see, my philosophy is if you're wasting the actions to break stuff instead of either defend yourself or get in there and attack, your opponent's going to get in there and attack or be ready to move up and defend themselves. So, like, action-wise, I don't feel it's a good use of your actions.
But if you go first, right, because I was thinking about it this way, if you go first and you can stay inside your starting area and do it, they come out on turn 2 on any edge of the map. So now they're in your opponent's starting area causing a ruckus.
But does that mean you have no actions left because you just used all your actions getting them onto the map?
No, and here's one of the reasons why I was thinking about it. Now, I don't know if it technically works this way, right? I'm still playing around with the idea, right? Mm-hmm. It's you have that Prime Hulk who is going to heal as he blows up pieces of terrain, right? So he heals the time that he moves, okay? Yep. He doesn't heal when Dark Phoenix moves him, but he's still blowing up a piece of terrain, which means it removes another token. And Zodnon, what?
We're at 2 token, two debris.
And every turn you remove one. Is what the card says.
Yeah. Okay.
So after one action and a second action to get Hulk into terrain anyway, Hulk into the mess anyway.
Mhm.
Now you have this big figure standing out there, and you have full 2 actions left, which is not bad for a guy who has a stop, click, invincible, all that fun stuff, right? And remember, you control the pace when he comes out, so you don't have to get him out on turn 2. You can get him out on turn 3 if you want to, and drop him when you feel the need for it to happen. Right?
But if you're already dead by turn 2.
You know, I feel like the team that we put together with Bane and everything like that's going to survive 2 turns at least. You know?
That's fair.
I don't know.
But
We'll see what happens
Alpha's
if
the
you
name
got
of the game.
maggots in your face.
We'll see.
I think animals are likely to still be very strong. So
you're not wrong, but you know what? I'm willing to be the guinea pig to try it out.
Well, in Modern, the maggots are gone and Lockjaw's gone, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I meant in Bronze. The Bronze
for
tournament
sure.
over the weekend.
Well, if we did Bronze, I'd have a whole list of more brutes to play from. Don't forget.
That's fair. That's fair.
Sky Tyrant.
Whoa, Sky Tyrant.
Let's go.
Just get across the field, just yeet him, and just yeet people off the field.
Yeah, that's what he's there for.
Yep.
Mystic's is a little scary, but it happens.
And if you think about it, if you did Sky Tyrant, then Sky Tyrant would have a buddy on the side of the field when he goes over there.
Yeah. So he's not like the only threat. Like he has a better chance of deleting something from far away.
Correct.
Or from across the map, excuse me, because he can get there.
I don't feel like Clay is impressed with this at all.
Like I said, I'll give you a big kudos if you make him work. In any format. You can make him work in any format. I'll be impressed.
I will try and I think Bronze will be a little bit easier.
So if you make top 8 in any format, Clay will give you a sticker.
I look forward to playing you.
Maybe a cookie.
Wow, I think he's throwing down a gauntlet here. All right, well.
All right, concerts off. Bye bye girlfriend. Let's go this weekend, guys.
All right. Well, I guess I know what I'm doing this weekend.
Practicing.
Refining your team. Yes. Yes.
So, what do you guys think of Calendar Man?
He's pretty cool.
I like him. I don't think he's meta, but he is like that really fun character you play on an Underworld team where you're just like, I want to get weird and wacky, man.
I think if you time him right and the events are at the right time, he could do some kind of cool stuff. What other legacy cards do you think might be competitive?
The new Deathstroke.
Okay. Low points, of course, right?
Yeah.
Calendar Man was the one that stands out. What's kind of a bummer is like if you can't play him in any tournament that is like a multi-day tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you're like, oh, I played Calendar Man. I placed in the top 16, and now I have to go to the next day, and he has a whole different set of powers. Ugh.
Yeah, if the game began on an even number day, dang, that's rough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's the game, not the tournament, right?
Yeah, I should say the event.
There was another legacy that I really liked from this set.
I like Man-Bat.
Man-Bat sounds cool, but I don't feel like he brings enough.
So he's charging. He gets +2 attack on top of his Batman enemy. And then the bleeding tokens are very good because they increase the damage dealt by 1 for each bleeding token on them. So that's damage from poison. That's damage from knockback.
And he's only 45.
Huh?
He's only 45, so he's very affordable.
Like his values, like his defense sucks, and if he can't increase, it's bad. But he has potential. He ignores characters, so he should be moving for his attack.
And the nice thing about him, I'm looking at him right now. he does have that really cool trait that says he modifies his attack by +2 if he's occupying the square he began in.
Yeah.
Which means you can effectively share an attack value with him first to replace and then add +2 to it. So he could be the highest attack value Batman enemy.
Yeah, it's just a bummer he doesn't have the wing symbol in Forge.
Why?
I feel like he does. Hold on. That's not right. How does this guy not have the wing symbol?
I was going to say Man-Bat Legacy.
Yeah, so his original card has the wing symbol, friends. So that WizKids needs to make an errata on that.
I'm sure they will.
I think that, yeah, unless I encoded it wrong on my site.
No, they put it on the card wrong.
Oh, okay, all right.
I
think that you're right. I think that he needs to be errata. Yeah.
I would love for Darkseid to be useful.
You guys haven't mentioned Brimstone.
The big fiery guy in a one piece.
He's probably just by merit of him being Colossal Retaliation, 15 points. Like he's going to be on. He's going to be played.
You're going to play him over Carnage though.
Why not both? Only 25 points.
That's a lot. That's a Scott Porter.
Why not play 4 of them? Two Scott Porters, Brimstone, and Carnage. Let's go, dude.
I'll be honest. I didn't know about this today, and I heard this today, and I almost lost my mind, which is Scott Porter's not unique.
Yes, he is.
Okay. I have to check this because it was like you could play like 4 Scott Porters. Oh, thank God.
So whoever told you that has serious issues.
Good. Because like he was rattling.
So in that regard, he's not unique.
So just to be clear, 2 different Scott Porters, and they're unique. Just so everyone's clear.
Because I'll be honest, that has been floating around in my head where I'm like, wait a second, you could play like 3 or 4 Scott Porters and just.
It doesn't say it on the card. Oh no, it does. If you look at the cards,
it's just very. This is one of the few flaws with the new
rings around.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very hard to tell what is unique. I struggle with this when I'm encoding units on the site.
And if you're looking at Superman, right, he doesn't have that silver ring. A little harder to see. Yeah, he doesn't have that silver ring.
Good, because I thought it was the end of the world when I heard this. I was like, wait, you could have like 4 Scott Porters on your team with 1 of every ring. I mean, why would you not do that?
That's 100 points of Scott Porters with 4 different rings. That seems like a thing, right? That's a lot of barrier. It's a lot of barrier.
Yeah. I was like, why are we not all like that first third of your team build? There you go, done. Like, thank God.
Use all the Scott Porters I ordered then. Jeez.
I know, right? I really want, what did I say? Darkseid to work.
Okay.
But I don't think he will. Like when I looked at him, like it's probably the 125 would be great because like for an extra 50 points, all you're getting is like a damage bump from a 4 to a 5. But I feel like he's just too expensive and not durable enough. And he's got 2 9 attack values somewhere in there. And if you're playing against a creative opponent, they're just going to poke you to get onto a 9 attack value and be like, congratulations, you're not hitting anything.
It's rough.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't have any stops. I think Phantasm could be decent, right? Free smoke cloud, free blades if in hindering terrain.
The 10 attack's a little sad.
Yeah, but
But she's mystical. She's mystic though.
Was the original one Mystics?
I don't feel like it was.
Yeah. And they had the assassin target, right?
Yep. So she would have been great 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, well, she does get free attacks. Free attacks are always good.
Mm-hmm.
She needed the Batman enemy team ability though to make that 10 into like an 11 or a 12.
Hush is a little expensive, but I like how he can port people over. Precision strike, regen support's good, but like 60 points. Stats are a little low.
Yeah, 7 attack on the last click.
I found another bug.
Uh-oh.
When you click on the Hush card, it doesn't show an image of the figure.
I have a fit. I see it.
I can share my screen and you won't see it.
I'll share mine too. I'll show you yours. I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Maybe it's because we're all clicking on it and we broke my server.
We broke your server. Oh, man. Yes, this is what I'm looking at. Let's hush. There's no figure here.
That is weird. Click on it again.
Let's see. Ah, there it is. Why did they do that?
I don't like you. I don't know.
Like it.
And then since Clay, you said you're the map guy, what's your favorite map from the new set?
Oh man, the throne room. Jeez, that's I love the all water. Boy, Solomon Grundy going to be the most irritating figure in the world.
Oh my god.
Ooh, I have a good question. Can you search by move symbol in your HC realms?
Sure can.
I can make a fish team.
You can.
Fishy, fishy.
Call it the docks.
One of the worst maps ever created. All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. I think that covers it. Do this again next week.
Sounds like a plan.
Sure.
We'll
Same
go over
time,
the weekend's
same
events.
place.
And you guys can tell us about your concert and girlfriend hangout.
Sounds good.
Deserves the time. That lady puts it.
Thanks again for being my guinea pig, Patrick.
No worries.
I'll have to replay the video and figure out all the bugs that we found. Fix them by the time we meet next.
No worries. I'm glad I could help.
Well, until next time, don't forget to practice rolling your dice, guys. Take it easy.
Good night.
Good night.
Shake it, Cali.